Are you in the home stretch of your 3D print and you get dust in your paint? Don't be a grouch. I'll show you how to fix it in today's video, so come check it out. Alright guys, what's up? Back at it again. It is DW Darkwing Dad bringing you a helpful tutorial for something that we've all encountered one time or another: dust getting in our paint. So in the last couple of my videos, I've touched on the importance of keeping your models in something safe to help keep debris and dust and trash and all that stuff down. And it is very, very key. So what happened in this video is, this is when I was building my Iron War Patriot, just starting to get my shed set up, and I didn't have the tent at the time and got kind of cocky and, threw some drop cloth down, and what happened is I got dust got on everything. I had to do this with literally the entire model. It really is key when you guys are spraying paints and clears, really keep dust down, to have it something in a nice, safe, just shelter. Some people build their own, some people buy them. I found out that the Wagner paint boots, for size, the way you can put them up and take them down, just overall affordability, was the best option. Since I've switched over to those, I have not had any of these issues. But if you do have these issues, just follow this tutorial and it'll walk you right through it. So what I'm gonna do, guys, is just show you some videos of me kind of inspecting my models. It shows you just a breakdown of what I'm doing. It also just kind of gives you an explanation of what I'm going to do. And then I have some illustrations that really in-depth show and explain all the types of defects you may come across, how to fix them, what to do, and what not to do. So without any further ado, let's get into the video. There's two types of defects you'll encounter when painting. One is under the surface, the other is on top of the surface. Under the surface is where a small piece of debris lands on your paint and you paint over it, and it creates a small hump or a zit that inevitably must be removed for your model to look proper. These can be a real eyesore, and to what degree they are is really just based on how you paint it. You could have something really heavy where there's a ton of trash in your paint and a whole big area has to get done, or something smaller where it's just a small piece of debris somehow got on there and you missed it, and you basically just have to sand that down. And that's really the only way you can fix it. Understand that debris is in between the primer and the paint. So you have to sand it down, usually something light, 400 or 600. You sand it down, get it back down to the primer, and then just go ahead and repaint it and continue with your clear coat, your buffing and polishing, whatever you do, yada yada. But the biggest thing with that is that little debris, that little piece of defect must be completely removed before you move on. On the surface, defects can happen both in your base coat and your clear coat. Regardless of where you're at in your painting, it's the same situation. You've laid some paint down, it's not fully cured and dried, some dust or something gets kicked up, it lands on your model and creates these little divots, also known as craters or fisheyes. Now, they are an eyesore, it's something that you definitely don't want, but this video is going to focus on how to fix top coat or surface defects in the paint. So what I'll do is show you some defects I had in my model and how I fixed it. When you get these little craters like this, so a crater dips in, a zit pops out. When you get these craters, you really have to focus on that particular area. In here, what I did is I hit it with 1,000, I hit it with 3,000 and 5,000. But you can see that it's not even touching these craters, okay, because they dip in. So when you're going across the surface, that crater is under the surface. So what you really got to do is you have to freehand it and take your finger and kind of work in there. All you really want to do is kind of get to this point. These craters aren't completely gone. However, when we hit it with clear coat, it will be gone. Okay, and you can see how much more reduced these craters are. You can see I actually got them with the sandpaper because they're dull, which is good. Whereas these are still complete. I mean, these stand out like a sore thumb. This one, the only reason I'm doing 1,000, because these are a lot deeper than what was on the on those earpieces there. These are, you can see they're just, there's a lot to them there. So, and sometimes you can even, the camera can actually pick up the piece of dust that got in there. If you do paint something, especially with the clear coat, and you get those little craters. So if you remember this, this particular earpiece had a little crater in it. Understand, so you've got basically a dip. No matter how much you sand on it like this, you're not getting in that little crater here, okay? So a little tip is to take some clear coat and just spray a little bit in your cap and get your precision paintbrush again. And just pick up a little dab or a little blob and kind of when you come down, just touch the tip of the surface to fill that divot in, okay? So now you can see that that divot is no longer a divot, it's a bubble, it's raised, which is great. Because then what we're gonna do is we're gonna throw clear coat on this, we're gonna wet sand it and smooth it all out. Divot is no longer a divot, it's now a little bubble. I don't know how well you can see that, but what we'll do is allow this adequate time to dry and then throw some clear coat over it. We'll wet sand it, we'll clear coat it again, and you'll never even notice it's there. Also, things like oils that are on your hand can affect that. If there's water left on here, those are all things that can affect clear coat and paint. The first step in this process is to wet sand the surface with either 1,000 to 2,000 grit sandpaper, depending on how deep your defect is. So by wet sanding, we're reducing the gap between where the crater is and the top surface. We don't want to put too much paint in there, as we know if we put things on too heavy or glob them, bad things can happen with additional top coats, which we are going to put on. So grab our detail brush, get a little bit of clear coat, and just kind of fill that gap in. You can see here, there's that clear coat bubble, just like I showed you in the video. It's filling in that gap. It's now raising up. It's creating that bubble, which we're gonna knock down. Next, what you wanna do is you wanna put a layer of clear coat. We've already wet sanded a little bit. We don't wanna get too risky and wet sand more. So what we're gonna do is after the bubble has dried, we're gonna add a little bit of clear coat on, 1 or 2 coats, and that's gonna put a coat on top of it. But we can still see here from the illustration that there is still a little bit of a bubble. So what we wanna do is knock that down. So very important, make sure the clear coat is completely dry, and then we wanna go back and wet sand. 2,000 grit really is a great option. It's not overly aggressive where it may leave deep sanding scratches that you'll be chasing and trying to get out, but also you won't be taking forever trying to level off that bubble. It's nice, quick, and efficient. After you get the bubble leveled, all you have to do is one of 2 things. You can buff and polish the piece, which is what I prefer to do with all of mine. Or if you're not comfortable with that method, you can very simply just add 1 or 2 more layers of clear coat. Just make sure the item is dust free and in a clean area. You're giving yourself enough time between layers of clear coat and adequate dry and cure time before handling the model. If you follow all of these tips and all these strategies, have a little bit of patience and diligence, your item will come out looking like it never had any defects in it in the first place. That's it, guys. That is the video. Hopefully you found it very helpful. I was trying to just be very explanatory to you guys, kind of explain some of the differences, some of the do's and don'ts, and really give you good visuals on how to fix, you know, blemishes if they do occur in your paint. Obviously, if it's something that's underlying, it's really no secret. You just have to sand it down, make sure it's all smooth and everything's out of there, and repaint it. A little bit more into it if you're doing something with your top coat, with your clear coat, but hopefully the video and all the illustrations and explanations there help you guys. If you have any questions on how to fix it, if you're doing this process and something isn't going right or you're just not sure, feel free to drop me a comment and I will be more than happy to help you out. If you are a subscriber to the channel, thank you so much. You are the reason why I make these videos. All the thumbs up, all the love, all the comments, greatly appreciated. Is what keeps me going. So thank each and every one of you for watching and commenting on all these videos. If you're not a subscriber and you do enjoy all things 3D printing, DIY, Marvel, Star Wars, all that fun stuff that we do on this channel, go ahead and click the subscribe button because we'll have a lot more content on builds, a lot more helpful tutorials like this, and maybe some goodies along the way. If you did have any questions on the video, like I said, just feel free to drop me a comment. I try to be very, very thorough in this video and just explain everything in depth. But if something didn't make sense or you're just not sure of a certain process along the way, just drop me a comment. You know I will reply. If you're on the Discord and you have a question, feel free to drop me a comment as well. And if you're not on the Discord, click that link in the description. Join a great network of 3D printing enthusiasts. We all like to jump on there and help each other out to put forth our best work possible. That's pretty much it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like I said, this was a video that I felt was well overdue. I know a lot of people have these situations come up and they're just not sure how to attack them. Hopefully my breakdown here made it nice and easy for you, so if you do run into this, it's a quick, easy fix. That's it, guys. I'm out. I'm gonna go enjoy the rest of my weekend, so thank you for watching. Like I said, click that subscribe button if you're not a subscriber. If you enjoyed that video, give me a thumbs up, drop me a comment, and until next time, DW out. Later.